What kind of food do we bring on a 6-day hiking tour into Sarek, and how do we prepare it so it will be lightweight? In this video I will talk about my menu, and I will show you how I dry the food and how I prepare it for bringing it out on a hiking tour. My name is Matti. I'm working as a dog musher and nature guide up in northern Sweden. Together with my partner Stina, I run this small lifestyle company and guide company, and outdoor life is actually what we're doing for a living. We're also doing this kind of videos about the tours. We do how-to, reviews and all that. We make videos that we like to make actually. The menu for this 6 days is actually 5 dinners, and now we focus on the dinners first. It's minced meat stew with pasta, and that actually can become more like a soup. And I will dry the minced meat with tomato puree and spring onion and celery and carrots and all that things. And I'm going to show you step by step how we take care of it. The second dinner is pasta pesto with white cheese and olives. That's also very simple food to do. The third dinner is minced meat, like a minced meat stew, pasta bolognese or something like that. And then I will make it with mashed tomatoes. So I will show you how to dry it, I will show you how to prepare it, and so on. Dinner number 4 is a kind of totally vegetarian food. It's rice with a mushroom and onion creamy sauce and soya sauce. And dinner number 5 is actually the first dinner that we're going to have. That's elk meat and onion, mushroom and cream, and that with mashed potato. We are a group of 4 persons that's going to hike for 6 days in Sarek National Park. We're going to carry all the food, so I'm a little bit, I want some lightweight stuff. Now I'm going to show you the drying machine, and as you see we have it here in the workshop where we repair things. Here you can adjust different temperature, and it's a timer here, so you can really change it from vegetables, from jerk beef or fruit, or if you're going to make yogurt or whatever. It's a hanging thing in front of here, and this has been out here for some hours, and you see the onion is still already here. It's already small, but when I touch it, it's very soft still, and the mushroom also, and it's also soft, so it needs some more hour before I can pack it. But we have it out here because it's noisy and it's a little bit smelly from the food, and we don't want that in our small house. That's the reason why we have it here, and it's a super machine. So if you're going to dry a lot of food, I can really recommend you to get one of this machine. If you don't have this special drying oven, you can use a normal oven, and then you put it on 50 Celsius or something. You find instruction on internet exactly for your oven, and you should probably keep the gate a little bit open like this with a pen or something, and you have it on 50 Celsius for different onion dries faster, meat dries slower, and it's also a little bit different temperature for different type of food. So you'll find tables on that on internet. I'm not a specialist of that, so don't listen to me when I'm talking about that. The first meal we're going to start with is the minced meat pasta bolognese. So I will make a tomato sauce, and I will keep it boiling for a while because I want the water to boil away as much as possible. And I will do it together with the onion and tomato puree and all that. And at the same time I will fry the minced meat, and I fry it without butter. So now I fry the minced meat here and the onion at the same time. And when I fry the minced meat here, I fry it without fat, because if I fry it with fat, it will not absorb water when I try to cook it afterwards. You know, that's why you add grease to your hiking boots, because you don't want them to absorb water, and afterwards you want this to absorb water. That's much more fun and better to eat then. So no fat here. You add fat afterwards when you're cooking if you want fat in it. Minced meat I fried together with a half tube of tomato puree because I want it to be a rich tomato flavor. I also going to add some of this half package of this sun-dried tomatoes. I'm going to add it also afterwards in the package when everything is dried. So I like rich tomato flavor of the food. Now I'm preparing this, and soon I'm putting it out on the drying sheets, and then I carry it out to the drying oven that I have in the workshop, because we have the possibility to keep it outside, and then we do it because when you dry it, it smells a lot of food all the time, and we're living in a tiny house, 50 square meters, and if we can avoid some of this in our house, we do it, of course. Into this fried onion I also mix one of these mashed tomatoes, and then I add some oregano and black pepper into that, and we make a tomato sauce, and that tomato sauce we're going to boil as much as possible so we get rid of as much water as possible from it. So now the tomato sauce is kind of ready, and we put this in here and put it in the drying. It's a lot of liquid in this pot, so still. And then we also have this with 800 gram minced meat and tomato puree, and that's a good portion for person. This we add on top of this net, because then this frame with the net belongs to the drying equipment. You see, I put it on a kind of thick layer. It could have been that I should maybe put it in two different nets, because then it's a thinner layer and it dries faster. But this is how I do it this time, and I maybe dry it a little bit longer to be sure, and maybe go there and shake it a little bit also. But now I bring these two things out to the drying machine. Now I started with the second dish, and that is minced meat, and it should be pasta, and it will be pepper, celery, this I don't know if you call it spring onion, and carrots. And the minced meat I fry it again, and I will fry it together with tomato puree to make it more rich flavor. The carrots I will cut in small thin slides, and then I will, it's a word for it in Swedish that's called förvälla. You boil it a little bit in salted water, not really boiling it, but boiling it a little bit. If you boil it a little bit in salted water, it keeps the orange color even when it's dried, otherwise it gets just grayish, boorish. This I'm boiling this carrots, salted water, and this I just cut in as thin slides as possible, and then I spread it out on the net again and go out with it to the drying thing. But one thing that's important to talk about when we're working, and that's coffee. Or actually not the coffee itself. It's actually take a moment now and then. You need to, it's very easy to just rush through the life and try to be as efficient as possible and try to produce as much as possible, but it is important to enjoy the time while you're doing things. Now I have to look after the meat. The second pan of meat. So that's how short my coffee break was. And as I told you before, we fry the meat without any grease, fat or oil or anything like that. Just frying it, dry frying it. Put the carrots in water with kind of a lot of salt, and I try to boil it here, and it will be boiling for like 2-3 minutes, something like that. It's not super important if it's 1 minute or 4 minutes. It's, yeah, you know. You see how much food it's here now, and then you should compare it when it's in my hand, when it's dried later on. But it will be out in the drying machine for until tomorrow. So it's a new day now, and I have been taking the things from the drying machine into here now, and it looks really good. Now I had to add some mushrooms in the drying machine and some onions, so I'm going to cut that and put that out. When that's done, I start packing a few of the dishes that are already complete. But the ones with the mushroom and the onion had to wait a little bit longer. One thing that I have been reflecting over and thinking about is that back in old days when you were young, when you cut onion, your eyes was always running, or at least when I was cutting onion when I was young, my eyes was always running. Today, it's very rare that you get onion that actually makes your eyes running. Why? Because today when you grow onion, it grows faster than back in the old days. It grows faster, it's more nutrition, and probably the onion back in the old days that grows slower and was smaller and so on probably contain more things. I don't know, that's my reflection, but I don't cry so much anymore when I'm cutting onion. Or is it just because I'm old and my eyes are not so sensitive anymore? What do you think? Leave a comment. Tell me if you have an idea about that. I continue cutting this onion. It was actually coming some tears, or maybe the tears comes because I know you sitting there and looking, and I feel so touched because you are following what I'm doing. Thank you very much for following our channel anyway. So now I just brought in the pepper, or in Sweden we call it paprika. You see, it's so super tiny when it's dry. And the same with carrots, you see, it's nothing. So all this is 3 big carrots, and the whole thing was covered with carrots. And these ones, celery and paprika, was from on another one. And this is a spring onion, and here we have the minced meat. So on one of these plates there is 800 gram minced meat, and on the other one is 800 other grams minced meat. So we will have 800 gram for 4 person plus pasta and everything else. Now I'm going to pack the first dish, and the first dish is, I'm reading here, minced meat stew with pasta. And that minced meat with this tomato sauce that I've fried, together with the onion, spring onion, and the pepper, celery, carrots. And then I add 1 piece of this bouillon cubes. That's salty and some extra flavor. So then I prepare that in 2 bags. 1 bag with the pasta and 1 bag with other thing. Okay, and then we had to talk about the plastic bags, how I store the food. I have one of these zip bags that I use, 1 zip bag for each dish. And I try to, on a tour like this with paying customers, I try to have new bags, of course. I don't want to have reused bags. And it's the same with them. I buy this smaller, so for example in this one I can put all the pasta, or I can put all this dry food, and that all these bags and everything goes into one of these, so then I know this is 1 dinner and so on. If I'm out alone, I try to reuse my plastic bags, of course. And you see, in Sweden, when we buy bread, we get something like this. That's super strong, super good quality plastic bags, and people get it for each package of bread and then they throw them. And instead of reusing them, as our grandmother and grandfather have done, we buy these crappy plastic bags. And everybody thinks that they can save the planet with driving electric cars, but this is how we should save the planet, to reuse things. Anyway, you get a lot of message in this video that you haven't asked for. Now we should try to put all this dry stuff into the same one, because this I cook at the same time. So then we put it, so the plastic bag over this one. I don't need to measure it, but it's easier to keep the plastic bag like that. Then we take the minced meat and do like this. See? So, and it should go in here. Whoop. Then we take the onion, rolling, in here. So now we have reduced 800 gram minced meat, half tube tomato puree, one of these onions, 3 big carrots, 1 pepper, 3 things of celery. That's more than 1 kilo. 1.2 kilo food have been reduced to 340 grams, 341 grams. That's not bad. And then we need some pasta, and this will become like a soup, minced meat soup. So with this, I have this kind of pasta that looks like small screwy things. I don't need the whole package because that would be too much. So I open it. As you know, you don't want to carry too much. Now, this time I will calculate on this dish. It's so much other things there. So I will calculate 100 gram pasta per person. I think that will be more than enough anyway. One of these bouillon cubes. So then we take one of these zip bags. Into the zip bag we add the pasta. We add the bouillon. I just take 1 bouillon because I try to avoid to add too much salt in the food. You get enough with salt usually, and salt is not healthy. It just increases your blood pressure and so on. So this is 1 dinner for 4 person. That was the first dish. Let's continue with the next one. The second dish we're going to do is the pasta bolognese or something like that. And that's minced meat. And this is the pasta sauce, you remember, that I was boiling. Onion and mashed tomato. I will also add some of this sun-dried tomatoes, of course, so make it more rich. And then I also have the tomato puree there. So I will cut some of this in small pieces and put this together in one plastic bag. To that, I'm going to have some of this pasta. It's a spiral pasta. Now I took this with 3 colors because I think it's fun. And I will think it's enough with 500 gram pasta to this, because it's kind of a lot of food anyway. So that would be enough for 4 person. 500 gram of this pasta and this. So I'm going to take this 80 gram dried tomato. I'm going to take half of its 40 gram. These sun-dried tomatoes are really good to bring. They are really nice to put as extra flavor in soups and in all kind of dishes. Also, if you have this pre-prepared dry frozen food, you can add some of this dried tomato, and yeah, add some of them. So really nice. I like just to eat them also because they're a little bit salty and very rich. I cook this food later on up in the mountain. Then I try to put some water on top of the food directly when I arrive. And the really best thing is if you can put maybe not boiling water but some warmish water on top of it, because then it can stand for an hour or something like that, and in the pot, and absorbing water. And then you just need to preheat it or boil it a little bit before eating. The pasta, of course, you cook as normal. Now I saw some of these outdoor YouTube guys that actually boiled pasta at home with some sauce, cheese sauce, and then dried the pasta by, because then you just need to add hot water, you don't need to boil it. But I bring the real pasta and I boil it out there. So, but if you want to save gas or save time, you can do that. This is also interesting. This tomato sauce is a little bit bigger pieces. I tried to mash it a little bit like this. Didn't really help. So let's try to do it like this. We put the tomato in there. So, and the little bit bigger pieces, if you can have it as small as possible, it will absorb the water faster and easier. So smaller pieces is really good. Let's put the pasta sauce into here. I really like this drying things that you can actually roll. It's still not easy, but you can roll it and put it like this. That's really good, really helps. This food when it's dry is kind of sharp, so all these bags get small holes. That's why I like to put it like this into another bag, and also with the pasta. So, and one of these cubes. Here we have pasta bolognese, or I don't know if it's called pasta bolognese. This is pasta with minced meat and tomato sauce. Second dish. Dish number 3 will be pasta, and it will be pesto and with white cheese and olivers. And I have heard that you can dry the white cheese. I never tried that, so I will not do it because it's not super much for 4 person. And this time I take 600 gram pasta for 4 person. And the reason now why I increase pasta is because this it's not the same as 800 gram minced meat, of course. I also add it in another plastic bag. So I also put all in the same plastic bag to avoid some of the shit I had to carry around out there. I usually never carry a special bag for trash when I'm out there. I use all these old bags for trash. When I make the knot, as you see here, I don't make the knot super tight. I make it so I easily can open it with cold finger. So the knot should just be a knot, not, you know, you get it? That's how I do with all knots on my plastic bags when I'm outside. Now sometimes I use these clips also, but when I use the clips, I use it on bags that I open several times. If it's a bag like this that I open once and then it's done, then I do it like this only. It goes into one of these zip bags. I put food in a zip bag to avoid if I get water into everything, into the food bag, or if you fall into a creek with something like that, then the food should be protected. So these ones contain some liquid, so these ones I put in an extra plastic bag also, like this. So the pesto comes in glass canisters like this. I don't, usually if I go canoeing I bring the whole thing. I don't open it. But if I'm doing like now hiking tour, I open it and put it in a plastic bag or in something like this. But I really want it to be bomb proof, because I don't want oil all over the place. And you know, oil comes out so easy. So I almost never bring alcohol out on tours, and I very rarely show alcohol on our YouTube channel or on Instagram or something like that. I love to have a whiskey and so on sometimes, but there is a reason why I don't do that, and that's because it's a lot of people out there that have issues with alcohol, and it's also young people looking at YouTube, and when you are older adult, you are hopefully kind of someone that young people looking and try to learn the good stuff from these people. And if you are out there and putting out videos and so on, you should not romanticize alcohol or stupid things. So that's the reason why we have chosen to not show so much of that. We don't show anything actually, more or less. But I like to have a beer sometimes, and pasta pesto fits really good with a glass of wine. Really good. Glass of white wine. But I don't carry wine out there. I have no issue if my customers bring alcohol on the tours, and I'm happy to try different kind of interesting whiskeys, cognacs, wine, whatever from all over the world. But I don't think we should promote it too much for the young ones. Plus pesto in a plastic bag in a canister. I really don't want this all over the place. So, you know, I'm learning from my mistakes. I have had very interesting experience with food all over the place, or leaking bottles and like that. Here we go. So, and so. This one I put into the refrigerator because it's stuff that needs to be cold. Dish number 4. Dish number 4 is a different thing. It's with rice. Together with this rice, I'm going to fry onion, I'm going to fry mushroom in oil and soya. And then I add cream on top of that. This dish is vegetarian actually. If you use oat cream, then it's actually vegan food. We are 4 big guys. I think we need 1.5 deciliter rice per person. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, something like that. always difficult because you never know if the group you're going to go out with are big eaters or if they are normal eaters or whatever. Then you should find something like this that you know it's oil safe. And we add half of it with olive oil. We fill it up with soya. This dish should have a lot of black pepper also. Whoops. What I figure out by coincidence is actually that, you know, I need the oil first when I'm going to fry things. And oil and soya is separating. Soya is more heavy. So I can, if I keep it not shaking it, I can take the oil first for frying. So it's really, I didn't know that. And as I told you about being safe, we put this in an extra plastic bag. So, really closed it and plastic bag. Yeah. So, you put the rice there. Right there. That's perfect. You put the cream there. Now, I don't know if I'm clever that don't put the cream in an extra plastic bag. I had to put the plastic bag, the cream in an extra one. Because, you know, when you squeeze this plastic bag into your backpack, maybe you squeeze this. Into this, I also get the onion and mushroom. So that's not ready yet. So for carry food in, we always try to collect different kind of small things like this. This one we bought from a pharmacy. It's probably for soap or something like that. But you can buy them empty and so on. If you buy them from the pharmacy instead of from the outer shop, they are much cheaper. These two canisters are from medication to our dogs. And this comes very waterproof and usually also airproof. And people usually use them once and then throw them. They use them until the medication is out and then they throw them. But they are made of really sturdy plastic, a little bit heavy maybe, but you can really use them a lot. You can put some nice sticker on them, take away what's the other things. This have been coffee, I need to clean it. But it's airproof and it's waterproof and it's for free. Talk with someone that have horses, talk with someone that have dogs. Talk with the veterinary and you maybe can get some of this. Or if you have your own dogs, you maybe have them already. Also, vitamin pills comes in really nice cans. So vitamin D is nice to eat now when it's getting darker. Buy a can of vitamins, eat vitamin D and make a better immune system and you get a good can also. And then we have dish number 5. That will be elk meat or moose meat in thin slices that I bring frozen. We fry it with a lot of butter. I also fry it together with onion and mushroom. That's out for drying and I really had to soak that with water before I'm frying it. But then I fry it with a lot of butter and on top of that I add a package of cream and let it boiling a little bit together in the frying pan. That will be our first dinner because fresh meat is not good later in the tour. It's good for the first day and especially if we bring it frozen we can use it the first day. To that I have this potato powder and this is potato powder. It's ready mixed with milk powder and everything. So you boil hot water, I add some black pepper in the hot water, or white pepper is better, but I usually just bring black pepper. You add some pepper in the water or butter and then you put this into the hot water. Don't try to put this into cold water and then heat it up because then it will be very much like a soup. So yeah, this is our last dinner in the plan. We will have to make it safe, so let's put the cream in a plastic bag. So, and the biggest problem with the meat is that I can forget it in the freezer. That is not nice. And then we take a bag like this. So, put the potato there. We put the cream there. And then we wait for the rest. This was all our dinners. For breakfast, we will make porridge each day. And we will use raisin in the porridge to make it a little bit more sweet. So we add some raisin in the oatmeal before boiling it. And we also have blueberry soup powder. In Sweden we get blueberry soup powder like this. It's very sweet, a lot of sugar, but this is really nice to put on top of the porridge actually. So porridge with blueberry soup powder and some milk powder. We make milk with milk powder and put it together with the porridge, and some raisin in the porridge. To that we also have some sandwiches, tea, coffee, and for the sandwich we have cheese in a tube. In Sweden we have a lot of different kind of cheese in tubes like this. We have cheese in a tube, we have some normal cheese, and we have butter. So that's for breakfast. But tea and coffee is super, super important for me. For lunch, if I'm alone, I don't eat lunch. But now I'm out with people that most of the people today are used with having lunch. So I had to adjust that. After the normal people, I make a kind of soup. And then we have different types of soup. So 3 of the lunches I will really boil soup. And sometimes I add some noodles in the soup and make it a little bit more rich. But it could be asparagus soup, it could be chanterelle soup, champignon soup, or it could be tomato soup, minestrone soup, or whatever. So like 1.5 liter soup for 4 or 5 person. For the other lunches, we also have something like this. It's also soup in a cup. And this is what we're using when we have heavy rain and we don't want to sit there and boil. Because then I just make hot water super quickly. Everybody grab one of these and put it straight into their cup and they get the soup very quickly. And then we have soup and sandwiches for lunch. So this is a quick fix lunch. This lämminkuppi in Finnish, it means the warm cup. And then of course I bring a little bit of chocolate, I bring a little bit of cookies and a lot of tea and coffee and so on. But I've stopped bringing a lot of candies with me because back in old days I had a lot of sweets with me on the hiking tours and dog sled tours. People finish everything. Today people are a little bit more aware that you should not eat so much sugar. So one hiking trip I made into Sarek, I came back with 1 kilogram chocolate cakes, this chocolate bars, you know, 200 gram chocolate bars, 5 of them. And so after that I have started saying, if you want to have snacks on the tour, bring whatever you want. And I just bring a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of nuts, peanuts. Nuts is really good. I have a lot of cookies, because cookies people are eat after dinner for coffee and so on. For myself, I very often have a kind of nut mix that I have in my pocket. So if I get really hungry during the day or something like that, then I can take a few nuts. But we eating so a lot during our tour, so I usually never get hungry. Yeah. We also have real butter. I prefer the real butter because the other, you know, the one that's mixed with oil, that butter is very fluid. So if you get warm, it's all over the place. This butter is more resistant when you are outside like this. So this is a better butter. Normal butter, animalic butter. We have these tubes with cheese. This one is with smoked reindeer meat. This is with spicy pepper. We have with tomato and basilica and so on. I also bring a few of this ham, or this time I took turkey. This kind of meat is good to have on sandwiches for breakfast, for example, or lunch, but you can't keep it the whole tour. Then you need to have a kind of salami, because this one get waste if it get warm too long. The butter I put in a plastic box like this. We also have normal cheese like this, as you see, but we got the normal cheese already sliced because we don't want to slide it. This is more hygienic and easier to handle out there. We put the cheese in one of these boxes, so that's actually some extra weight to carry that. Now I organize all this food in different kind of bags, so I know where I have the lunch, I know where I have the dinners, I know where I have the cookies, and when we take off in the morning, I always keep my lunch food accessible so I easily can reach it. And this is a constant fight of organizing things, because I pack the food in blue waterproof bags, and each guest have one of these bags, and I try to make them equal heavy. I had to organize the food every single day, more or less. And yeah, that's how it is. I shouldn't complain. I just had to do the work sometimes. We have some peanuts, we have some crackers, we have some blueberry soup, and we will have some oatmeal porridge, blah blah blah. Yeah. Now, I think this was more or less everything from me today. Now you should wait a little bit, and then it's coming a video from this tour, and then you will see where we have been in the lower part of Rapa Valley, where we're searching for elks, or actually it calls moose in US, and we're looking for wildlife, we're hiking, and the weather forecast this week is rainy, it's windy, except the first day. So we're also going to enjoy the autumn, the fall colors in the mountain, because this time it's all leaves change color. But if it's windy, the leaves also falling down. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, don't give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from us, subscribe. If you don't want to see more content from us, don't subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope I see you again. See you in the next video. Ciao!